Hey, good morning, change agents. It's me, Tracy V. Allen, coming to you with another episode of Change Agents TV. So, if this is your first time catching me, my name is Tracy V. Allen. I am the owner of TVA Consulting, where we help our clients, which are nonprofit founders or nonprofit leaders, social entrepreneurs, and small businesses, develop the systems and processes needed to build and grow a profitable, sustainable, and compliant infrastructure through education, training, and consulting. But most of all, guys, we help you create impact within the community that you serve. And today we are continuing our talk on strategic planning. And you might say, haven't we heard some of this before? You definitely have, but I want to give it to you in all types of different ways until you get how important it is to participate in strategic planning activities, right? So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is develop your vision. Where do you see the organization on a whole serving its clients and building its infrastructure 5 or more years down the line? It must start with the end goal in mind. Okay, you always work backwards, not forwards. So what is the ultimate goal of this organization or this business's existence? Okay, where do you see it going? Then from there, you're going to develop the mission. What activities do you need to partake in order to make that ultimate goal an actual reality? So your mission is, what do you do and how do you do it? Okay. And I have another video that I do really need to put up on how to create a vision, mission, and your core values. But yes, so the vision, ultimate goal. Where do you see the company 5 years down the line? From there, you talk about what your company does and how your company does it. That's your mission. And then your company has to stand for something, because you know what they say, if you if you don't stand for something, you stand for nothing. So what morals, principles, values does your company have? Your company needs to have some core values, some hard, no ma'am or no sir, we're not doing that. And that is the principles that you live on, and people respect that you can say no to certain things, because we know all money is not good money, all interactions are not good interactions, all collaborations are not good collaborations. So how are you going to satisfy your customers? What are the principles that you stand on when it comes to satisfaction, trustworthiness, whatever it is that you choose as your company's core values? And then with everything else in business, we have to partake in a SWOT analysis. And a SWOT analysis is not the only analytic tool that I use. I use the PEST also, but doing the basic SWOT analysis is a great step for figuring out what your company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats are. Okay, so what are you good at? What are you strong at? What do you do effortlessly that actually garners results? Where can you improve in your company, because you're doing it, but it's not being done so well? And you find out this information as part of the marketing research or the surveys that you do before you start actually doing your strategic planning. So you'll find out from your customers, you'll find out from your employees, you'll find out from sales reports, you'll find out from feedback that you get from end user feedback, but you will find out exactly what it is that you're not good at, that you need to improve upon. What opportunities do you have in the community or with other collaborative partners to grow a certain area of the organization? And what threats, what things do you have currently going on? What do you foresee happening that could possibly bring everything to a halt? And that's where disaster planning comes in. You need to have a disaster plan. And I think this situation has taught us that a disaster can come in many different ways. Usually when we think about disasters, we think about fire, flood, or a hurricane or something like that. But disasters can come in many, many different forms. So what possible threats do you see in the future that could possibly cause your business to come to a screeching halt or to derail the efforts that you have made? Okay, so after you've done your mission, decided where you want to be in the future with your vision, you created your mission, you know what your core values are because you know the principles that you stand on, and then you've done your SWOT analysis. The next thing that you need to do is to do your long-term goals. So what goals do you have for your company to create that vision? What is the goal? I need to do this. We need to do this. We need to get to this point. We need to get to that point. We need to get to the next point. What are the goals that you have for making that vision become a reality? So these are long-term goals, goals that are 5 years in the future, or goals that are 10 years into the future. And along with those long-term goals, this is just the 8 elements. I didn't put the short-term goals in here, but you do need to have short-term goals, because the short-term goals are what leads you to your long-term goals. So short-term goals and long-term goals is something that you really need to have. How are you going to achieve that vision? Because that's what we started with. We started with what the end goal is going to be. Now we need to make small steps to get to that long-term goal. And then the objectives. So goals are general, like I've always told you guys, and objectives are specific. What are you going to do to achieve those goals? What do you need to do? Not the actual action, but I need to cut back on, I always use the weight loss thing. I need to cut back on carbs. I'm not being extremely specific. I'm being specific, but I'm not doing the action. So in the action plan is where you actually say, okay, not only am I going to cut back on carbs, but how you're going to cut back on carbs. So I have the specific what I'm going to do to achieve the goal, but in the action plan or the strategic portion, I'm going to be even more specific. I'm going to say exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to buy rice and potatoes at the grocery store anymore. No more bread. Okay. I am going to buy vegetables in the form of broccoli, carrot, whatever it is. I'm going to be actionable. What are the actions that I'm going to take for the specific? I said I'm going to cut out carbs. So now what actions am I going to take to make sure that I cut those carbs out? Okay, so you have your goal, which is I need to lose weight. My specific objective is I need to cut out carbs, and my action is I'm going to buy more vegetables. I hope that explains goal, objectives, and a strategy. Again, let me say that. My goal is to lose some weight. What is a specific thing that I need to do? My objective, I need to cut out carbs. What is the strategy? I need to buy or eat more vegetables. Okay. And then after all of that, I need to evaluate. I need to know if what I'm doing is working. So how can I evaluate that? And again, back to the weight loss analogy, I can weigh myself, I can measure myself. You know, those are things that I can do. I can have this one pair of jeans that I want to fit into, and I will know if my goals, objectives, and strategies are being realized. So it's the same thing in your business. What is your goal? You want to make more money. How are you going to make more money? Getting more customers. What is a strategy that you're going to employ to get more customers? Well, I need to be more visible by doing a Facebook Live every day at 9 o'clock, or I need to run an ad on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. But you have your goal, your objective, your strategy. And then once you've taken that strategy and put it into place, which is your action, then you need to go back and you need to evaluate and make sure that that strategy works. So those are the 8 elements of a strategic plan. And again, my name is Tracy V from TVA Consulting. We would love to help you create a strategic plan that creates social impact, that creates change within your community. And I want you to all remember that there is someone in your community waiting for the products and services that you create, that you're going to give, and it is your responsibility to make sure that you get it right. Have a wonderful day, everyone.